Hi, I'm Michelle Morisi, acupuncturist, and I've been leading a series on the wood element this spring, which is associated with the liver and gallbladder. And so last week, or the last couple weeks, we've been talking about the gallbladder, and today we'll dive into the liver and its roles from a Chinese medicine perspective, and talk a little bit how it overlaps from a Western medicine perspective. Yeah, really juicy stuff. The liver does a lot. It's a yin organ from the Chinese medicine perspective, and the yin organs always have more functions, and part of those functions is an orifice or like a sensory organ that it opens into, so it's connected to, as well as a spirit that it houses. So each of the 5 yin organs houses an aspect of our spirit. So we'll talk about what that is for the liver, and yeah, let's get into it. So from a Western standpoint, the liver is recognized to have over 500 functions. So from a Chinese medicine perspective, we'll be talking about 6 official functions. But those 6 may encompass aspects of those hundreds of functions. So for one, we know it helps to detox, remove toxins from the blood, and help to excrete them through the urine or the bowel movements. It has a big storage function, storing vitamins, minerals, and glycogen, not to get too into biological terminology, but storing that, keeping our blood sugar balanced. It has some benefit or some contribution to our immune function, and to our digestion as well, metabolic, our metabolism, and helping to, it produces bile, which then helps to break down fats, as we talked about with the gallbladder. And let's see, did I miss any major ones? So I don't think so. Blood regulation. So it regulates blood clotting by producing clotting factors and breaks down old or damaged red blood cells. So from a Chinese medicine perspective as well, the liver plays a role in regulating the blood circulation. And so the Chinese medicine functions, first is that it stores the blood. And so this kind of is a broad category. It really covers the liver's whole relationship to blood, which is very significant. So not only storing the blood, but also, like I just said, regulating the blood, ensuring that it's basically the right quantity, getting to the right place at the right time, and also receding at the right time back into storage. When we are in motion and when we are engaging the muscles and need that blood circulation flowing. It ensures that it's getting to the right place. And then also when we need to rest and sleep, ensuring that that blood is drawn back to the liver, so that it's not getting stuck in places where it doesn't need to be. So that can lead to sort of restlessness, think like restless leg syndrome, so trouble sleeping, what's called dream disturbed sleep, where you have dreams that are disrupting it, so vivid, and or it could be a kind of a shallow, wakeful sleep. And also, in particular, in nourishing the sinews, which are the tendons and ligaments that connect muscle to muscle or muscle to bone, respectively, and kind of form our joints. So ensuring that the blood circulates properly to these joints to keep them supple, to keep us moving with agility, flexibility, and without pain. And so that leads into the next, a couple of the next functions, which is that the liver ensures the smooth flow of qi, and that the liver controls the sinews. So those are the second and third official functions of the liver. Just an additional note about the liver ensuring the smooth flow of qi. So that is within the joints, but also just kind of overseeing the movement of qi in general in the body. So that is, for example, the stomach qi in health descends, the spleen qi in health ascends. So the liver is kind of overseeing these more specific movements of the qi, kind of like the manager, right? Every organ has its own role with the qi, and the liver is overseeing that all those roles are being fulfilled. So stagnant qi, kind of global stagnation of qi, is associated with the liver. So you'll hear, and we'll talk about more later, a very common pattern is liver qi stagnation. And then, as I said, the third function is that the liver controls the sinews. So if the liver qi or the blood is deficient, we may have impaired movement, stiff joints. My liver qi is stagnating from the dog barking. And then, as I said earlier, or maybe I didn't say earlier, the liver, all of the yin organs manifest in a particular body part. So for the liver, it's the nails, so the fingernails and the toenails. The health of the liver is, it can be seen in the nails, or the lack thereof. And particularly it's seen as like an extension of the sinews. So from a Chinese medicine perspective, it's like the flowers of the sinews, the flourishing of the sinews. From a Western perspective, it's seen as like a musculoskeletal appendage. So not quite as poetic, but the same, essentially the same perspective. The nails are intimately, functionally linked to our certain tendons and ligaments. And if the nails are dry, brittle, easily kind of breaking down, this is could be a sign of a pattern of disharmony in the liver. A deficiency of blood is probably the most common, or some kind of some kind of distress sign of the liver. And then the fifth function of the liver, the sensory organ or orifice that the liver opens into, are the eyes. So in my Qigong classes, I've been doing a lot of kind of eye Qigong, bringing Qi to the eyes while we're in liver season. So that is the health of the eyes, the clear vision, and just like in general, the health of the eyes is seen as a reflection of the liver, the gallbladder perhaps as well, the strength of the liver qi, and the having sufficient blood as well to nourish the eyes. So, and as well on a more of a mental, spiritual level, the liver is connected to our vision, so our figurative vision, and that leads us into the last function of the liver, which is that it houses the hun. And so this is translated as the ethereal spirit. So as I was saying earlier, each of the yin organs houses an aspect of our spirit. And so for the liver, the hun is it's understood as multiple spirits that leave our body when we sleep. So it's essential to get good sleep for the health of the liver and just in general, of course. And so it leaves our body while we sleep and flies over and has a broader perspective that it brings back to us. So when we say like we need to sleep on something, that kind of ties in with this this concept of the hun. And so the hun is said to dwell in the blood, so having sufficient blood is important to have a well-functioning hun. So if you can see how things can just be a vicious cycle where you don't have enough, you're blood deficient, you're not able to sleep, the hun is not able to perform its function, we are kind of scattered and restless and unable to make clear decisions. So the healthy liver helps us to make good decisions, plans, to have a vision, and without that, or if there's any kind of mishap in any part of that, it can throw things off for us, and we'll get more into what that might look like, patterns of pathology in the liver and causes in the coming weeks. So just to summarize the official functions of the liver: stores the blood, which encompasses not only storing it, which from a Chinese medicine perspective, storing it is it's almost like a sacred role, that it's preserving this, something that's vital and essential. So not only storing the blood, but also helping to ensure that the right quantity of it gets to the right places, and then is also retracted when we need to be at rest, And some say that it's good to sleep on the right side. If you sleep on one side, or more so to sleep on the right side, where the organ of the liver is located, to kind of assist in that, let gravity kind of help pull the blood into the liver. And so that's the first kind of most major function of the liver. And then to ensure the smooth flow of qi overall, particularly the joints, but also the smooth flow of qi within all the organs or meridians. It controls the sinews, the ligaments, the tendons that make up our joints, keep us flexible and supple and pain-free with our movement. It manifests in our nails, fingernails, and toenails. You can check out the kind of the texture, the quality of your nails, if they're brittle or not. And that's seen as an extension of the sinews, so a sign of the health of the sinews, and by extension also the health of the liver. It opens into the eyes, ensuring clear vision and healthy eyes. And it also houses the Hun, the ethereal spirit that gives us a broader perspective and helps us to plan and envision.